right, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're having a good morning. Luna and I had a really good walk this morning and we threw some balls. We've had a pretty good morning so far. I'm going to have a cup of coffee. Hope you have something to get your morning started. Um, and let me get a cup of coffee in me before we talk. I mean, not a full cup, but it's a couple of sips. Oh. All right, so yesterday we started talking about we're talking about systems. We're doing over the five different forms of empathy earlier, and we're applying how those empathies might be on this system. So the system we were discussing was a new law that was passed by the House yesterday, and it's going to go to Biden for signature here pretty soon, and all indications are he will sign it. So, oh man, she can catch real good. So, we talked about the tax credit for electric vehicles, and as you can kind of tell, I'm a big fan of that one. Uh, the other thing is that they need to have money come in to the government in order to send that money out. um, that, oh, and there's some other stuff in the bill about uh, more details about helping with reducing the energy costs and stuff like that. But I will have to decide later how in depth I want to go into that one bill. The there's two new provisions in the bill for acquiring more money, more tax income. And let's discuss the one that's vague and more controversial. And that is they're going to give a huge increase to the IRS. Um, I think the figure was $87 billion. You can fact check me on that. See if you can find a number, but it's in the 80 something billion dollars. So some people are concerned about that only because, especially I've heard in the US from friends that I have that are international, IRS has a whole bunch of rules and it's very complex and how it decides whether or not you owe money, and you have to file a bunch of stuff and it gets very intricate. You should have seen my my stepson. He filled out his taxes last year and he was mad because he was a contractor, and as a contractor there's a lot of extra steps you have to do to do your taxes. He was also paying for his own health insurance, so as a contractor that was a bunch of mess too. But my point is, there's a lot of people that have concerns about the IRS because in the past it's been a very problematic thing to fill out your tax return. So some people see the 80 billion as, oh, they're going to come for me more. They're going to do more audits. They're going to um, be more scary when it comes to tax time, ramp up a fear, and that's definitely possible. Um, IRS can be some of the scariest stuff you can imagine. We even saw a comedy episode recently on Young Sheldon. It's a TV show that takes the fictional life of a brilliant young kid named Sheldon, who earlier had been in a TV show called Big Bang, where he plays a brilliant physicist. Uh, man, I'm thinking quite a bit. She's not putting these balls where I can get them very easily. But in the episode, Sheldon had to match wits with a IRS agent who was auditing their taxes, and he was grilling Sheldon. I mean, you got this, well, there's that, I want this, this is not, and it was horrifying to see this little kid who he's kind of a hero of the show because he's pretty much innocent. You know, he's not like evil in any stretch of the imagination. He wasn't trying to dupe the IRS. He was trying to do the rules and obey them. He was trying to do the letter of the law. And uh, to see it go down, it's very adversarial. And you know what? The audience sees that. And so when they talk about adding a lot of money to that side of the table that's against you, the IRS is not considered your friend. It is not considered your friend. Now, the Democrats say that this is going to primarily be focused on people that are rich, that get away with loopholes and skating the return taxes and stuff like that. So they say that's where the focus is. And it could be, but man, nobody thinks the IRS is on their side. And that's a shame. It really should be portrayed more as an organization that's not out to get you, an organization that's actually out there trying to be fair, good or bad, to help you be do your fair amount and no more. And I personally feel like I have paid maybe more than I should have because I didn't want to get audited. I was afraid to get audited. So instead of taking some extra uh, possible tax benefits off the side, I went ahead and just ignored them because they weren't worth the extra hassle that could happen if I was audited. Never been audited. So see, it's in my mind. So let's talk about we talked about the EV stuff, and man, as you guys could tell, I was glowing about that. But we'll talk about this IRS stuff on the five things of uh, empathy. Caring, you know, nobody thinks the IRS cares about them, and nobody thinks this is going to make grandma's taxes easier, and or the young man who's just turned 18 that's having to file his taxes for the first time. Nobody thinks that. My hope is it will. My hope is that a lot of the money will not go toward audits, but along the lines of streamlining your tax information and helping you produce a tax return that's more accurate. But it's going to be hard to see that. Hopefully, we'll see it through the feeling of the populace after a while. But right now, that's definitely a negative. The next thing is fairness. Now, fairness is really running the gambit right now on IRS. There are many people that are pro tax, pro government spending because they believe government spending tends to help out more of the population than uh, of what a person would spend or a company would spend, which is more dedicated toward their consumption or enjoyment. So the fairness, I think, is really going to go from different directions there. But it's true, fairness is going to be a big one with this. There are many people that will see the fairness as um, more fair toward the because big people will have to pay their tax due, and there's a lot of people that are going to be more afraid that they're going to be targeting the young and elderly because they're easier to get. They don't understand the intricacies of the tax code as well as one of those professionals. And so, yeah, man, both of these entities are going to be there. And so far, it's bad for the Democrats, or bad for, I should say, for this bill, even though it's a Democratic bill. Next thing is loyalty. Taxing in the United States, the federal government keeps producing a large bill for us citizens, and it stresses our loyalty a little bit. We feel like so it's hard to think. I don't think loyalty, I can't think of a good example of loyalty for this, but it seems like this is also a negative for it. And we got sanctity and we got authority. The sanctity part for this is bad. A lot of the sanctity is feels like you work hard for your money. You work hard to get a paycheck, and then the IRS comes along and takes their portion. I'm not even going to say their fair share because it doesn't feel fair often. So the sanctity of what I've worked hard for being taken from me, yeah, yeah, we feel that. So there you go. There's all four. And we have the last one, authority. And this is the one that the Republicans have used quite a bit on. And IRS did not help. So knowing that they were going to get this big chunk of money, IRS has already started advertising for more agents. And in their ad, they had to put in willing to look it up. IRS agent ad, one ad. It basically said that you got to be willing to hurt people, got to be willing to do bodily harm, And yeah, it it was horrible. It made it sound like they want thugs. I mean, you just got through saying that they didn't want that, so that was bad. So there you go. I had two. I wanted to stop right here. I was going to go on more, but we'll stop. I'll do a little bit more research on some of the other stuff they gave in the bill besides that. But EV stuff, I did cross the board, thumbs up. IRS getting a lot more money across the board, thumbs down. So there you go. We balance, and sometimes that's a good bill. It's got not just a giveaway, it's got a lot of pain in it as well. So that's that's probably might be overall a good thing, but we'll see. We got to balance it out. Maybe it's all the fact that going to be an EV benefactor, probably, and maybe it's the fact that everybody's going to have some pain from the IRS. I don't know. We'll find out. Well, anyways, you guys have a wonderful morning. We will talk to you later.